Bright lights, bright lights.
Hi and welcome to this week's Bright Lights of Gosling Unitarian Church, Hampstead. If you have a candle, now is a great time to light it with your family. We are the chapel of the open minds, the loving hearts and the helping hands. How are you this week? I hope you've had a fantastic week. Now is a great time to press the pause to reflect button and share your joys and concerns with your family. So we're still in the month of becoming, and we had a rather windy scavenger hunt last week. I think some of you might have done that scavenger hunt, so do send in how many you got so I can find out how many you got right and how many things you found. So this week is all about making hopeful predictions. We're all looking forward to the return of chapel. Some of the rules have relaxed now and hopefully the lockdown is easing. Things are changing all the time around us, and there are some things that are in our control and some things that are out of our control. And we can try to predict the future, can't we? We can try to guess what's going to happen. But we also need to remember that even if we predict it, we have to remain in our hearts and our minds open to things as they unfold, and to realise that not everything is in our control. And that's where the idea of trust comes from. And that could be trust in nature, trust in spirit, trust in what you believe God to be. And that's how we can hopefully stay comforted and calm and hopeful, make hopeful predictions, but not always think that they might come true. We'll have to see what happens. So with that in mind, I've got a little mystery object here. You might have seen one of these before. What is that? It's got the number 8 on, and it looks a little bit like you might find on a snooker or pool table. It's a little bit bigger than that. It's called a magic 8 ball. Whoa. It's a magic 8 ball. I've always wanted to have one of these when I was little. It was invented in the 1950s as a toy then. And what you can do is you can make hopeful predictions with this. So you can ask a question that might have a yes or no answer or somewhere in between. And the magic 8 ball will predict it for you. That's why it's so magic. So let me think, what could I ask it? So I'm going to ask it, magic 8 ball, I'm going to shake it around, it's got the answers inside. Magic 8 ball, will I find my lost sock? And I'm going to turn it around. And I have to wait for the little triangle to appear. Will I find my lost sock? It says, I don't know if you can see on the screen there, it says most likely. Hooray! Hooray! I won't just have one sock, thank goodness. Let me ask one more question. Will I have spaghetti tonight? Magic 8 ball. Will I have spaghetti tonight? Yes or no? Could you tell me? Will I have spaghetti? The outlook is good. The outlook is good. Can you see that? Outlook is good. Oh, it's two very nice positive answers. The outlook is good. Excellent. So I might have spaghetti tonight. It's looking promising. So you can play this game at home, and you might not have a magic 8 ball, but you can play a game as a family and be an imaginator and make hopeful predictions. So I'm going to put up on the screen some positive answers, some neutral answers, kind of hazy answers, and some negative answers. So positive ones are things like, it is certain. You can say that really with mystique, it is certain, or without a doubt, or you may rely on it. These are great answers. The neutral ones are things like ask again later, so it's not decided yet. Ooh. Or a negative answer, my sources say no. I'm glad I didn't say that for spaghetti. I do like spaghetti. So you can write those down. You don't have to choose all of them on a piece of paper and make a magic 8 bowl if you like. And then you can ask as a family certain questions and see what your answers might be. So let's have a think. What could your questions be? In fact, you could maybe share it like your joys and concerns, things that you might hope for the future, or things you might want to do this summer, like will we go to the playground lots of times this summer, and then you can draw out your answer. Now I'd love your help with something. I've got the start of a story, but I need some hopeful predictions for the end of my story. So I'd like to read you the start of our story and see if you at Chapel can make up some great things that might happen to our character. And it goes a little bit like this. Once upon a time, there was a little bright light, just like you. This little bright light was called Flame. He loved going travelling. And one day he packed a little knapsack, a little rucksack or a little knapsack of food and water and headed off to the beach. He didn't want his flickering flame to be put out, so he carefully climbed into a boat that was fireproof and set sail for a new island. It took a little while to get there. The waves were rocking the boat and he was rowing the little boat. But finally he reached the new island that he could see in the distance, and he moored his little boat and he stepped onto the white sand of the new island. When he got to the island, what happened? I don't know, because this is a new story. This is a story by the Roslyn Hill Chapel children, The Bright Lights. What happened to Flame when he got to the island? I would like you to spend some time either by yourself or with your family and come up with a few things that happened to Flame on his island. They could be scary, they could be happy, they could be sleepy, they could be to do with food or animals, or whether he stayed there at night time, what happened to him with his flame burning bright. What happened to Flame? I would love to know. Please ask your carer and parents to send me your answers, and I will get your story endings all put together in a mishmash of different ideas, and I will share what happens to Flame next week. And hopefully you made some really good hopeful predictions about Flame and his adventures. I love that. We're just making a new story together. That is seriously cool. Now, what I would love to do as the final bit to this week is to do a meditation, but not in the sense of a breathing meditation, more of an imagining meditation. So get into a comfy position, either sitting on a chair or cross-legged on the floor. Take a few deep breaths and close your eyes. You can do this as a family, and I'm going to ask you 3 questions. When we get past each one, you can close your eyes and then take time to listen to each other's ideas before moving on. So, being the Imaginator 1 question. Okay, here goes. Close your eyes. What new kinds of inventions will we have in the future? What new kinds of inventions will we have in the future? Close your eyes and imagine what the future inventions might be. Okay, so close your eyes and press pause. Imaginator button 1. Imaginator button 2. Okay, we'll take a big deep breath. Hopefully you enjoyed sharing those. Hold on to your answer. Just close your eyes when it comes to you. What kinds of pets might you have? What kinds of pets might you have? You can press the Imaginator 2 button and ask yourself that. Now now that you've done number 2, hope you enjoyed that. I'm wondering what kind of pets. Will they be guinea pigs? Were they guinea pigs? Were they kittens? Imaginator button number 3. And this kind of links in with our opening words. What helping hands will you have? So close your eyes. Think, what kind of helping hands will you have? How will you be a helper? I'm having a good think now about all the ways we've got shopping for our neighbours and things like that over COVID, but it could be really other things. What kind of helping hands will you have? So press the Imaginator 3 pause button and you can hold on to your answer and share that with your family. Hopefully, good things are going to happen and we can have reasonless hope, can't we, about that? But we have to remember that how we see things might be different from how they are, and how we predict things might turn out may be different from how they eventualize and what happens in the future. But hopefully good things will come. Let's say the closing words together. As we leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness that we learn light our hearts until we return. Take care. Blow it out with me. Beautiful. Lovely to hear from you last week, those that got in touch, and I hope to hear from you this week with all the things that happened to Flame on his adventures. Take care. Bye.
Bright lights, bright lights.